Hello and welcome back to the WP Globe YouTube channel. Our today's topic is about the WordPress Survey Maker plugin. Building attractive and engaging surveys is not so complicated, especially when you use WordPress plugins such as Survey Maker plugin. As you may guess, today we are going to deep dive into the plugin's main settings and functionalities and see what surveys we can build through it. So please keep watching the whole tutorial and do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more valuable content. So let's start. So now we are going to review the Survey Maker plugin. It enables us to build various types of surveys. And now we are on its official demo site where we can meet many types of surveys. All these serve different purposes and are foreseen for different activities. For example, the first one is a customer satisfaction survey with matrix. Matrix is a question type enabling us to select a separate answer for each of the questions. Now let's press next. So we notice here a custom linear scale type, and in this case you have only one choice. As well as in the drop-down type, we can choose a certain answer. And here is a checkbox type, and what is more important, we can add media files to it and choose multiple answers simultaneously. Besides, we can type any text here, and along with the mentioned ones, we have an option to choose a date type. This is for selecting a certain date. And after pressing the Finish button, we will get a result. With this plugin, you obtain the survey with a skip logic function too. This is a good option enabling us to move to the corresponding response depending on our answer. So for example, we select the bicycle and the next question will be connected to our choice, so it will be connected to bicycle. And we can fill in the blanks, write here something, and note that basically all the questions are related to the bicycle topic. So after pressing the Finish button, we will receive a result, a thank you message with an image. Moving forward, let us review the survey with Conditional Results type. This is a quite clever way which displays the questions depending on our answers. After pressing the Start button, we fill in our email first. Now I will enter a test email, yet you should type a correct email to get the results through it. In the discussing example, the questions are related to the diet. And after completing the survey, you will get a weight loss or weight gain diet program via email provided. Now let's pass the personalized diet plan survey by filling in the appropriate fields, such as do you want to lose weight? We tick to yes. Then moving forward, we should choose our gender, age, height, current weight, desired weight, body type, and finally you will get a notification. With the provided links, you may see more demo videos for different types of surveys. So the official website of the Survey Maker plugin is acepro.com, where you can find all the needed information about the plugin. For example, how many times the plugin has been downloaded, its plans including personal, business and developer, and the differences between them. Here you may find so many features. More thorough information about the features you can reveal from the plugin's changelog. You're able to find out what features were added in this or that version, what was corrected up or changed. So scrolling down through the changelog, we can see the huge contribution of the developers. So the plugin is definitely improved from time to time, and many features are added for a better user experience. And now let us dive into the new and existing features of the Survey Maker plugin. As you continue to watch our tutorial, let's review the options of the Survey Maker plugin. Here we have already made some example surveys with the plugin, and due to them we will get familiar with the plugin settings. Let's choose one of them, for instance, the customer satisfaction survey. By entering it, we notice the tabs with the available settings such as custom result and other settings. Here is a ready-made survey with all the appropriate sections and questions included. By using the Survey Maker plugin, you will have an opportunity to add sections to the ready-made survey and prepare questions with the answers as well. For instance, in this survey we have already added some sections with questions and answers, and you can easily add questions you want by choosing a type. It is important to note that there is a huge amount of question types that we can choose from this drop-down list. For example, matrix, star list, slider list, file upload, date, time, separate email, name, and much more. Besides setting a question type to the newly added ones, we can also change the already existing question types, and after all, we should save it. Now let's go further to the Styles tab. Due to this section, you can easily set a unique style for your survey, such as color, background color, themes. As you may see, here are 3 different themes available. As well as you can add a logo for your survey that will be displayed on the lower side, right side. Here you will find basically all the styles, sections, suggestions, customizations you wish. So the next tab is Settings. Here you may find many helpful functions to build your desired survey, such as enable copy protection that will surely protect your content from being plagiarized. Then we have full screen mode, a live progress bar which will show the number of answered questions. And in the results section, you will be able to set the redirect URL, which means that after finishing the survey, you will be redirected through the set link. Here you will also reveal unique loaders, so the user will see your chosen one after finishing the survey, for example, textual part, image, GIF, etc. And finally, you can type the thank you message to be displayed after receiving the field survey. Besides the mentioned options, there is a limitation users tab, and it is a way to limit the number of survey passing attempts, a number per user. So we can decide how many times the user can fill in the survey. Once, twice, or even more. So the first function from this section is maximum number of attempts per user, which contains detect users by IP, user ID, or cookie. So if we choose IP, then this limitation will work with the user's IP, meaning that once you pass the survey from a certain IP, you cannot do that another time. And if we select user ID, we will limit the logged in user to pass the survey next time. And the third option is limiting the user with cookies. As well as you can notice here the message section. And after trying to pass the survey more than the allowed number, the user will receive the message. And the redirect URL, where we can put a certain URL, and the limitation, user will be redirected through it to the mentioned site. The next point is access only to logged in users, and if we turn this option on, it will allow only the logged in users to pass the survey. So the guest users will not be permitted to pass it. Here is another function, access only to selected user roles and access only to selected users. The next option is maximum count of takers. This determines the number of users who can pass the survey. Then password for passing survey option comes. Due to it, we can set a password and give it to the users to enter in the appropriate field in order to manage to pass the survey. And there are two types of passwords. The first one is the general password that we should create manually, and the next one is generated password. After typing it in the backend, the user will see it in the front end. So let's move forward and see the survey's functionalities in the front end. We have already copied and pasted a shortcode and built this survey. So we can pass it to see how it actually works. So first, we may select yes or no from the radio type. Then the other question answered. And after pressing the next button, we will move forward to the next section where the options are presented in a way of the checkbox. This enables us to select more than one variant. Next is the number type that enables us to implement only numbers. Then comes a drop-down list from which we can select only one variant. After that, we should write a valid email to get the survey answers directly to the mentioned address. And after pressing the next button, we will see the long text writing field where we can answer the above mentioned questions. The last step is pressing the finish button and we'll notice a loader that we have previously set from the dashboard, and of course a thank you message. We can type a unique text in the thank you message field from the dashboard, and people who pass the survey may see exactly that custom message. And here is a restart button enabling the user to pass the survey one more time. So let us go to the survey dashboard to detect other functions for the Survey Maker plugin. Here we notice many types of questions to choose, for example, metric scale, a radio, checkbox, drop-down, linear scale, short text, slider list, yes or no, email, name, and etc. Besides selecting the question types, you have an opportunity to choose an option to require the question answer or not by the trigger available. As well as we may duplicate the question and get it to the next section, as well as remove the duplicated question and section. Then you are able to turn on the logic jump, which enables us to be redirected to another section depending on your answer, or continue to the next section or go to section 1, 2, 3, etc. But in this case, you should note that you should have the ready-made sections. For example, if the user answered yes, then will be redirected to section 4, or if he or she answered no, then will be redirected to section 2, and so on. Then you can add answers here or new questions in the sections, or choose its type, for example, metric scale, and write a question, also adding rows, columns to be displayed in the front end. For example, rate our company. Here are the added columns, rows. We can add a new section by writing its title and description, choosing a question type, and after saving it, we will get our new section saved with the added questions. Besides the logic jump, we have conditional results section. This enables you to get results depending on a certain condition. So after entering the conditional result tab, where we'll meet an if and select sections. Here we should choose one of the questions marked in the box, and we'll get all the answers that we have already inserted for that particular question and set one of them. For example, would you recommend our company to your friend or colleague? And here are the answers, yes or no. And they are implemented in the conditional result if section. Almost every type of question, actually except for the metrics type, can be added as a part of the condition. Then after adding a condition, we will notice and or section. This is a way to connect the conditions and questions to each other. Then we can choose another question and set the answer we wish. So if the customer chooses yes for the first question and somewhat dissatisfied with the next section, then we can send a custom result message to the customer or send it via email, or else redirect him to another page after a certain time frame. It is important to know that we can definitely add some other conditions, yet you must connect the right questions and answers to each other to get the right result. Then moving forward, we can choose other questions, for example, number question type. And the answer can be it is equal, bigger, smaller, greater than or equal to, less than, and set the number, for example, number 6. And choosing we can jump to the next question as a part of the condition. In the case of text type, you will notice identical or contains sections choices as an answer. For example, you can write a word that the type text should contain. So, for example, we'll write house. And if the user answers all the questions correspondingly as we mentioned above, then he will get a custom message we have previously typed, as well as get a private email or be redirected to another page, which URL we put in this field. Besides, we may add some other conditions with its questions and show different messages, send other emails, or redirect to another page. If we choose and, then both the questions should be answered according to the marked way. Yet if we connect the questions with or, then the answers should correspond to either the first or the next one. Now let us see how the conditional result works in the front end. So we have already set the questions would you recommend this company to your friend or colleague by answering yes, and the next one, overall, how satisfied or dissatisfied are you with our company? We have set the answer somewhat satisfied. Besides, we have connected the two questions with and. Here we should type a custom message, for example, my conditional result. And now let us pass the survey. For testing the conditional results, let us choose the same answers. Here we need to mark yes and the next somewhat satisfied. Other questions are not a part of our conditional results, so we can select answers randomly to see the final look of this option. So finishing the survey. And as you may notice below the thank you message, your conditional result was typed. Now we are in the general settings sub-menu. Here we can set various options that will refer to all the surveys. For example, if we set who will have permission to survey, then select user role for giving access to survey menu, then the user with a certain role will see the survey menu on his user dashboard. And in case we use the select user role for giving access to change all survey data, then the users with a certain role will see their made surveys and all the submissions in his admin dashboard. Also, here we have default parameters that refer to all the surveys that you intend to build. We can set the first question type by default. For example, matrix scale, number, date, slider list, star list, checkbox, etc. As well as set anonymity mode for survey submissions. This means that the users are able to pass the survey anonymously and neither their names nor their email addresses will not be saved. But you should be attentive as the passing limitations do not work with anonymity surveys. So if they are turned on, then the limit will not proceed. If you want to set limitations, then you should turn off these options. Here you can notice other functions such as send email reportings to admin or admins. By determining a certain time frame, the admin will get submissions reports via email. Then we can move forward to see the submission submenu, where we see all the surveys with answers. Let's detect our lovely survey, customer satisfaction survey template. You have an opportunity to see the charts, and as in the summary section, the answers are displayed through a statistic. So we can print the results or download the chart in an image format. As well as we can export it. For example, we may export the submission, select the user, and export to XLSX format. Here we have an individual tab where we can identify a certain user's response, and you can export the individual response via XLSX, PDF, CSV formats. Also, here is the submissions tab where all of them are displayed. And in the analytics section, where you can see the information about the user via charts, for example, how many people passed the survey via mobile, desktop, tablet, or browser. And we reach to export import submenu, where we can choose one of the ready-made surveys and download it to a JSON format. This is to use the survey in other websites or surveys as well. We can put one or even more surveys to export. After all, we should enter the import section and choose the file that has been already downloaded. We may select one survey to be exported, or else if we do not select any of the surveys, all of them will be exported to the JSON format. So these are the plugin's main settings and options that you can utilize to create unlimited surveys for almost all of your purposes. Hope you liked the tutorial. See you soon in the next video.